Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire to come back at you with yet another Skylanders Vlogging episode only 1 week after the previous one. But this is no regular vlogging episode because, as you can tell from my Christmas jumper, this is a vlogging episode for the 12 days of Skylands, specifically the 6th day of Skylands. So naturally it's going to be a very exciting, festive, themed vlogging video, no less, where unfortunately I'm not going to be wearing my Christmas jumper throughout, but you are going to see it whenever I'm here at this location in my bedroom. So what we're going to be doing for this episode is we are going to be revisiting a similar concept that I explored early on in the Skylanders Vlogging series. There was an episode called Quite the Adventure where we checked out 5 different locations to go Skylanders hunting. This episode isn't quite as ambitious because we're going to go for 3 locations instead even. But naturally, with there being 3 locations, it's still going to be a rather juicy episode to make up for the lack of length the previous vlogging episode had. So yes, there's a lot to get into, starting with both Wellingborough and Kettering. So I am going to hop on a train and I will see you at the Loughborough station. Here I am at the bridge between the 2 Loughborough platforms. As always, I love the station of our quaint little town. Well, it's not really that little, Loughborough being one of the biggest towns in the country and all. But I'm not here to talk about Loughborough, so let's make our way down from the bridge so we can catch a train to Wellingborough already. So here we are at Wellingborough Station. Very interesting how it has 4 platforms as opposed to Loughborough's 3, but as you can tell, all the way to the left hand side over here, there's not much to talk about thus far. It's just a bunch of construction, but we can already see a massive residential area behind it. It's more clearer obviously in real life than the camera because of the fog everywhere. I did choose one hell of a miserable day to come out and film for this vlog, didn't I? But that being said, there's obviously the pole, which is glorious because every single pole ever made is glorious. That's how poles work. I don't make up rules, I just reinforce them. And then obviously there's the overhead bridge in order to get to the other platforms. What we're interested in is the way out, so let's go on ahead and explore Wellingborough some more. So I stepped outside Wellingborough Station, and this is basically the first sight we've been graced with. A rather interesting station entrance, mind you, which is on the complete opposite side of the station to the platform that we got off a train from. So, needless to say, all of that stuff we saw beforehand, we're not going to be exploring it further, not in this vlog anyway, but we're not missing out on much because, as you can tell, it's nothing more than a residential area, really. As you can tell from that sign right there, the town centre is to the right, which is where we're going to be headed next. So naturally, as you can tell from this quick pan around me, this area has been kept in pretty good shape. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the town centre has to offer. Architecturally, we're not off to a bad start neither. Okay, so getting to the town centre here is pretty straightforward. Quite literally, I'm headed straight all the way there for about 15 minutes. It reminds me of Loughborough actually, the fact that we're going through all of this kind of residential type area before getting into the nitty and gritty with the town centre itself. Much like how in Loughborough you've got to go from town centre through small residential areas in order to get to the station, more so on the outskirts than anything, or at least the outskirts of the main town centre, not the outskirts of the town in general. What I'm saying makes sense. If you aren't making sense of it, that's on you. My communication skills. Yeah, no, absolutely top notch. But that being said, I'm here in self mode because that house behind me really stands out. Because it's blue! What are all of these leaves doing here? Get out of this video, leaves. This is a winter special, not an autumn special. Or, you know, as the Americans call it, fall. Because the leaves fall. Wonder how many brain cells it took to come up with that. Linden Manor, this close to the bloody station. Yes, we got to check out. Oh, that's a manor house, alright. That is gorgeous. I always love it when we see these kind of statues outside people's houses. It really does make them stand out. A bit like that house, which again was blue, but enough of blue houses. It's not that much of a mind-boggling sensation. What we're going to be doing now is heading straight to the point. What is the point exactly? I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that straight was within that catchphrase. Not only was it Popcorn's catchphrase and Awesome Skylander at that, But straight is the direction in which we're headed. I cannot be more clear about that. Okay, as I'm heading towards the town centre right here, I'm noticing that all of this is pretty much the same. It's just a bunch of houses down this straight road. So naturally, we're gonna cut to when I make it to the town centre. But firstly, we're gonna be checking out that architecture at least. Magnificent. Phoenix. I love that as the name of a gym, given that Phoenixes obviously die and then are reborn from the ashes. Well, muscles do the same thing. To build them back stronger, you first need to effectively break them. So people who go to the gym are effectively breaking themselves down in order to build themselves up back and stronger again. That was pretty close right there. Highway maintenance vehicles really should know better when it comes to driving etiquette. But that being said and done, that street is over. It was long, it was straight, but it wasn't entirely bad. It was just very similar to Fast and Furious franchise in that if you've seen one of the films, you've seen all of the films. And just like that street, as I said earlier, if you've seen one part of the street, you've seen the whole street, which is why that street, it shall be seen no more as we continue heading towards the town centre up that way with a small slope, mind you, but given that I'm accustomed to the kind of gradients that we find at Lincoln with steep hill, this kind of gradient in comparison is going to be nothing. Okay, as you can see to the right of the frame, they do have Christmas lights up, but it would be worthless putting the lights on now, given that it's the middle of the day, so you wouldn't actually see the lights all lit up. But that being said, the bird just flew by on the left-hand side of the frame. The Swan's Gate, which is a shopping centre housing the shop we're looking for, CEX, so we're going to go check that out. Inside the Swan's Gate now, and I'm not going to lie, this is quite nice. Unfortunately, the CEX has no Skylanders on display because, as you can see before you, the store is tiny. I can stand here in the corner and see the entire store from back here. Everything you see before you is in fact all they got. Period. Now I am very disappointed that CEX didn't have any Skylanders on display, but even though they had like 98 in stock according to their site. But that disappointment was very quickly shed when I made sure that I didn't leave the store completely empty-handed. I'm taking home a souvenir in the form of the Sparks Brothers on Blu-ray. I've been looking forward to watching this for a while, so we're going to get home and treat myself to a little bit of the Sparks Brothers. So the architecture as always is magnificent, but what I want to focus on is that to the left of me. As you can tell from the roofs, on any other day it seems as though they would have a market around here, so that's pretty cool. But now all what I've done is double back to myself, because as you can tell that's the Swan's Gate Shopping Centre where I just came out of, and that's to observe instead the magnificence of this here town centre. There's plenty going on around here, so that's pretty cool. So as you can see from everything before us, as I make this quick smooth pan around here, there's a lot more to the Wellingborough town centre than meets the eye, because this isn't even gorgeous. This is one step beyond. I do love checking out new scenery, and this is about as great as it gets. So let's take another pan back to the right and just make sure we've got on everything in one fell swoop here, because I can't emphasise this enough. I'm quite enjoying this visit so far. I'm pleasantly surprised. Even at the town centre, as you can tell from my awesome zooming in skills, we do not shy away from greenery, so that's nice to see. It was also nice to see an Italian restaurant because Italian food is delicious. But regardless, I did want to check out the Chester County Park. I've heard that it's beautiful, which is really saying a lot because there's already been a lot of beauty around here. But since that's quite a walk, we're instead going to have to settle for the Royland Gardens back there. Let's check it out. Wasn't expecting this to be lying around the corner. What a pleasant surprise indeed. As the good man and great example setter as I am, I will put my hand up and admit when I am wrong. And I was wrong about Royland Gardens, because as you can tell, that's not even its name. It's for Croyland Gardens. I know that this is a disgrace and I have deeply disappointed you, and I apologise, but there we go, the Croyland Gardens, so let's check it out. So it turns out these Croyland Gardens are exactly what you'd expect. Behind me, near the entrance, is the park, which we would have seen earlier, but then there's also all of these different walkways and stuff, which is designed for exercise out here in the fresh air. It's just a really great way to escape the town centre, I suppose, and come out here to de-stress from the situation, unwind, so to say. Or, you know, maybe even wind up, if you know what I mean. But that being said, let's get wind up off the screen already so we can instead marvel at the magnificent cat statues that are found all over the Croyland Gardens. This area also features these rocks which have an incredible attention to detail. This looked most like the path less travelled, and you know me, I like to take my time to explore things a little bit deeper, so let's check out this route without further ado. And would you look at that, it's a squirrel. How cute. Well, looks like that route led to none other than a little trim trail along there, as well as two benches which will make the perfect spot for me to sit down and have some lunch. And then not far in front of the benches is this gloriousness you see before you. I'm pretty certain that Skylanders of water element would be stronger in this zone. Or perhaps earth. There's plenty of mud around, maybe even life because of all this greenery. And it is a very naturous area, mind you. So I suppose we'll have to settle the debate in the comment section as to what elements are really powerful here. But enough of braving the elements, quite literally. We're going to head back towards the town centre by looping around to the left over here. Let's check it all out without further ado. And going left involves going this way. Like, duh. And just like that, my circle round has been complete, because that building right there is the same building as the one that has the Italian restaurant sign on it. Pretty interesting how it has a clock at the front. I never noticed that until now. And that also means that right next to it is the little area that I was surprised by before we headed into the garden. So this is indeed, as you can tell, none other than a full circle that has been made. Okay, normally I would love to stay longer at a place like this, but because we also have Kettering to attend to, I'm going to head back to the station now. And that basically means heading back straight the way I came, literally straight. So it's time to go down that long ass road once again. Oh, I'm now done with that long walk. I'm exaggerating. It was 15 minutes. It wasn't actually that bad. But as you can tell, I'm now back at the Wellingborough station, where we are going to be seeing Wellingborough for the last time, or at least in this video we are, because Wellingborough was so nice that I could see myself possibly returning here in the future. We'll just have to wait and see what the future holds. But for now, it's off to Kettering, so I'll see you there. So there goes the train that brought me to Kettering, and boy, it was a very quick train, given that it only took me 5 minutes to get here. So the combination of it being a quick train and the fact that Wellingborough and Kettering are apparently freakishly close meant that it was not a long journey whatsoever. But that being said, as you can tell from this side of the station, there just really isn't much to write home about, so we're going to cross over and see what the other side has to offer. So there is the station in its entirety from the higher angle, and then here on the right side is where my exit shall be. So far we're not off to the grandest start, but I'm sure once we explore the town centre much more, there'll be something to offer us at least. Okay, so this is what our first view is outside of the station walls, and so it is very generic and what you'd usually expect to see. So without further ado, we're going to head obviously in this general direction to find ourselves towards the town centre area for Kettering. For some reason, when I speak calmly and slowly, it seems as though my voice turns into an AI interpretation of me rather than the actual me. Like, for example, when I say Kettering. Okay, very wide pathways here. You could fit a tank down here, but I quite like that. It gives me plenty of room to really stretch my legs. And my legs, they are ones that are in desperate need of stretching. They are very long after all. That's where I get all of my height from. But that being said, we're going to continue down this straight road. You'd think after Wellingborough I would have enough of straight roads by now, but I'm okay with that, because after we're done heading straight, we're going to find ourselves at a glorious store. The store known as CEX. Can't wait for it. It's a miracle now, folks. I never thought the day would come. I actually have to make a left turn at the road there where the big van just turned in. We're going to be heading straight down that road until we reach CEX. But for now, we have this awesome architecture to observe, or at least for overgrown architecture at that, as well as buses. You can't go wrong with a good bus here and there. Okay, now that I've made my way around the corner, as you can tell, this is the street I have to go down, and I'm looking forward to it, because this is quite an almighty looking street indeed. Specifically, it's known as Sheep Street. What about it screams sheep exactly? I'm not sure, but it's still pretty cool all the same, especially with all the floor pans, because everyone knows how much I love my floor pans at this point. Got some great detail on that, and it's to the memory of John Winter Dryland. Hell of a name, and no doubt hell of a chap. Can't go wrong with an extremely tall spire. Being a huge fan of the first Jurassic Park movie, this Jurassic Grill right now is tickling me pink. But that being said, here in the centre-esque area, we have some greenery and benches. Once again, a nice way to de-stress yourself out. There's plenty of places to sit down as well, it seems. So it's a very nice town centre. I'm pleasantly surprised. Good bit of cobblestone back there. That's how you know the road is old. But that being said, we have some more of the town centre to be exploring, and that means we're inching ever so closer towards that glorious CEX store. We're now here at the marketplace, which is pretty obvious, because what else would it be other than a place of market now, right? Heading further into the town centre, the marketplace, where obviously there's more greenery, more seating areas, as well as McDonald's, because everyone knows that a town centre would be incomplete without a McDonald's. Bewitched Coffee, we saw that brand at the train station down in Wellingborough, but here, as you can tell, the walls are a lot more stylised. They have some actual artwork there, and it looks glorious to say the least. Plus it's blue! Blue! Yeah, just about the only thing that gets better than walls painted in blue at this point is poles. I'm kidding, of course, I'm actually referring to non-orbit number CEX, so let's go on inside and check out what they got. Okay, so we're now 2 for 2 this episode. That CX did not have a Skylanders display to speak of. Rather tragic that actually, but we are going to explore Kettering a little bit further because there are still a couple of hours left in the day before things get dark. And that's going to include this cool structure here in the centre. I like how that's been built. It just looks cool, you know, and it's pointing towards the sky as well. You can't go wrong with a point like that. And that is what this clock is all about. But I'm going to tell you right now what I'm all about. I'm all about heading in this general direction, following the floor patterns as they come, if you please, as well as the pigeons as well. You can't go wrong with a massive flock of them. The clock structure back there wasn't the only clock around, because we also have the clock on the corner of that there building right by the post office of all things, it seems. A far more unique shop, both aesthetically as well as what they're actually selling inside. Pretty cool, all that. Okay, so we're going to head right and find out what lies in wait for us. I'm liking the contrast of the oranges and greens here, very nice. Okay, it's time for a new street. We're finished with that one on the right, which concluded itself with none other than a Sainsbury's, which you can still see to the left. But regardless, we are going to be heading this way because I'm hoping to check something out that I found on TripAdvisor. Man, they always say the journey is greater than the destination, but in this case, where the journey is nothing to write home about necessarily because it's the same as literally every other journey I've made, and in that case, yes, I'm much more so looking forward to the destination. I want to reiterate though, there's nothing wrong with this area. In fact, I'm quite enjoying this visit so far, and it was a visit well worth making. That oldie style double-decker has definitely seen better days. Okay, so as I'm walking down the street here, I've realised that I'm double backing upon myself to go back towards the town centre, so that definitely means we've taken the scenic route to say the absolute minimum, but I'm okay with that. Question is, do they have enough bikes? So this sign here says Gold Street, but meanwhile I'm going to be heading down Silver Street over there, so how exactly does Silver Street feel having Gold Street being prided about all over the place? Man, some people are just so insensitive to the poor road's feelings. Roads have feelings too. Wow, well, would you look at that with its fancy glossy finish, can't go wrong with that. The soundbar, well that's unique. That's 2 clips dedicated to bars on a road, is that bad? Anyway, there's a bus station behind me, pretty cool that, as well as this post, because this post has a sticker on it. So here's more of a bus station up at close as we just admire the fact that I've been saying for the last few clips how this has all been stuff that I've seen before, just done differently because it's Kettering, which is different from places I've been to before, but yet still also the same. Yada yada yada, but all of those critiques can now be thrown out the window because we found a post with a sticker on it. Never will I ever see anything more glorious in life. I might as well just turn my camera off right now because that was the peak of what entertainment has to offer, a sticker on a post. Even this sculpture pales by comparison. You can't hold a candle to the might of that sticker on the post right there. Truly magnificent. Like I said earlier, peak entertainment. In fact, I think that's putting it mildly, if you were to ask me. Mildly. In my excitement for the sticker on that post, and yes, the excitement was absolutely justified, I was not exaggerating, but regardless, there's Aura over here, bar and lounge, that's what Luke nicknames himself, so I'm sure he'd be happy to see that. But regardless, it would appear as though the destination I'm looking for is this way, whereas in my excitement, I was about ready to head in the completely wrong direction, over there somewhere. And there it is, exactly what I was looking for Stitch and Ponying. No, I'm kidding, of course, that's just another bar. I don't have a problem, I promise. What we were actually looking for here is the yards. Already you could tell from the insane colour palette that this is very aesthetically unique and rather gorgeous indeed. So it does appear as though the point of the yards is to have some very unique shops that sell stuff you wouldn't usually see, as well as some unique artwork around here. Again, the colour palette really makes this place distinctive and it stands out for all the right reasons. So we're now done with the yards. Much like Wellingborough, I'm sure Kettering might be a place we come back to again in the future because there's lots I missed out upon and already this place has impressed me. But that being said, my phone is running low on battery and I need it for my train tickets, so this is the last we're going to see of Kettering in this particular video. Okay, so as you can tell from my surroundings all around me, I have in fact returned home from Kettering. Now so far you'll notice a significant lack of winter theming in this winter themed vlogging special, but luckily all of that is about to change. Now, as you can tell for this here package, not only have I crossed out the addresses already for sake of confidentiality, but they've also recycled some of their old packaging, which I'm absolutely a-okay with. That's very resourceful of them. I don't care what the package looks like, so long as what's inside has been preserved, because I am very excited for this winter-themed chase variant. This is one of the chase variants I've been most looking forward to getting, and now, at long last, it is within my grasp. So as you can tell already, I'm ripping out all this packaging because what's inside has in fact been very well maintained, because obviously the packaging inside is stuffed up, so this can't go back and forth and get damaged inside the packaging itself. So let's unwrap it. We've got multiple layers to this, again for the sake of protecting the goodies inside, and given how much I paid for this, it better damn well have arrived in good condition. But we're going to keep tearing away at the layers here, because that has revealed what my chase variant is. A light core snow dash. I've been so excited for this chase variant, literally ever since I knew it was a thing, which was obviously over 10 years ago by this point that we knew of this chase variant. It is an employee holiday 2013 edition after all, and boy, this lives up to the hype. This is awesome. For those of you who don't know already, Soda Dash is one of my favourite chase variants, and to finally have her in hand is such an honour. I am loving what I'm seeing right now. The blue and the white have a really nice and sharp contrast. The blue for the fire is a little bit of a darker shade than I was expecting, so it doesn't quite contrast as much as pictures present it as, but trust me, pictures and film do not do this chase variant justice, because for glitter, it is so nice. It makes this figurine stand out on so many levels. So now that we've unpackaged the chase variant, all that's left to do is place it upon the shelf amongst all of the other chase variants, and boy does this one stand out for all the right reasons. So as you can tell, I've put it next to all of the other holiday employee exclusive Skylanders that I have in my possession, and this one still stands out despite how sharp and contrasting the colours for Snow Bright Stormblade are, and her design is clever, and the fact that she looks exactly like a Christmas tree. But who cares about that when we have this sort of like glacial fire type Skylander that sparkles, and that sparkliness to her is emphasised by the sparkle that's created by the light core packaging itself. It really works well next to the golden Snowflock Prison Break, but still Snow Dash is left to really stand out with just how sparkly she truly is. As I said before, photos and videos really don't do this chase variant justice. It looks magnificent, and it truly does stand out amongst this shelf. But now that having been said and done, it is time for the final location in this video, which is a location I have been to before in the past, but it was with Luke, and this time I'm going solo. I'm talking about Peterborough, which is going to lead to a very important errand where I can get myself a new passport that will set up for the next episode of Skylanders Vlogging. But for now, we're going to solely focus on Peterborough to conclude the Skylanders Vlogging episode with, so I'm really looking forward to it. Without further ado, I will see you all at Peterborough. Okay, so I finally made it here at Peterborough, and as you can tell, it is freezing because that's why I have my winter attire on. But that being said, I was worried for a moment that we weren't even going to get here, at least not on time, because all of the trains that were going into Leicester for my transfer, they were all being pushed back or cancelled entirely. So for a good 15 minutes I was worried about as to whether I was actually getting here or not. But luckily, despite the delays, I was able to get onto the train at Leicester for the transfer, and then from Leicester to Peterborough, I got on the train with only a couple of seconds to spare. Literally, I jumped on the train whilst the doors were open, the doors closed, and the train jettisoned off. It was so fast to get out of there, so we cut it really close. If the train from Loughborough to Leicester was even 30 seconds later, I would have missed that train into Peterborough, would have had to wait another 2 hours, and that would have been an absolute pain. But we got here, that's what matters, and now I have some errands to run, so we're going to get straight into it without further ado. Okay, this is good. I'm starting to recognise all of this already, so making my way from here shouldn't be too difficult. Nene Valley Railway. I recognise that name well because it was one of the locations where we shot our film Beyond Silence. Okay, so Google Maps is taking me in this direction, telling me to cross the road right here, so clearly, given how busy this road is, Google Maps wants me dead. All this greenery back here is looking a tad overgrown, but that's okay because we love greenery all the same. And over there is obviously the train station from which we just came, so it looks like we're looping around until we finally find a safe place to cross over this road, and then we're going to be taking that route you see in the middle of the frame right there, because I want to take a rather scenic route getting to my destination, see what Peterborough has to offer. Okay, as you can tell, we've finally crossed over, so let's pop down here and check out what we can see. Okay, I'm going to make a quick pan so you can actually see what this area has to offer, which is basically a whole load of nothing. It's more a residential type area, and it's not what we're looking for, especially since now we're on the wrong side of the tracks, and it's not exactly going to be easy for me to climb over this fence and go across the rail this way. First of all, that would be illegal, it's trespassing, and second of all, the likelihood of being hit by something is definitely in the double digits at least. So naturally we're going to turn around and head back the way we came so we don't break any laws and so that we don't die on film, because as exciting as that would be, it wouldn't be particularly practical now, would it? This area back here intrigues me for two main reasons. First of all, there's that awesome reindeer in the middle there. It's about time we brought some festive theme into this festive themed vlogging episode. But from here we can also see the cathedral already as its huge spires loom over everything else inside. It's a magnificent building indeed. But we're instead going to move away from the church we saw earlier and head around this road towards our destination. So I'll see you when we're a little bit closer, because all of this we saw already when we was accompanied by Luke the last time we were in Peterborough for a video.
Flashback.
Am I going crazy or something? Because we're safe to be looping around this twisty road.
Oh my god.
The voice was totally necessary. Anyway, in Luke's hand are 10 packs of Hot Wheels. Woo! For 2 he got from B&M Bargains weren't enough already, so he's gone and got himself another 10 packs put up on his shelf.
I need shelf ornaments, okay?
I mean, I too am also a fan of the ornaments on the shelf. I have plenty of Skylanders to prove that on said shelves. My shelves without Skylanders just feel empty and lifeless. Literally, because life is one of the elements.
It is, yeah. Stealth elf.
Oh, get a life. Pick a better character, people. Come on.
Chop, chop, there you go.
For the record, I'm just joking. I do like Stealth Elf, and don't you worry.
Keep in that blooper.
He's laughing because yes, there doesn't need a blooper. Regardless, there is one life character, even more special than Stealth Elf, and it's Smith. Boom!
Aye!
Woo, woo, woo!
End of flashback.
Okay, now that I'm done following around for A15, it's time to instead head in this direction where we have obviously flower stalls, which is pretty nice to see. Brings some nice colour, much needed colour, to the centre over here, and then there's also the Christmas lights, which obviously aren't turned on. It would be a waste of energy turning them on now because you could barely see them in all this natural lighting. Not that natural lighting lasts for long here in the UK. During the days, our natural light is limited to about 6 hours a day. Okay, we're now done with that quick little part of the centre right there. We're continuing heading straight over this bridge right now, so it's time to conduct one of my favourite activities, which is walking over the bridge in the first place. And this right here is the reason why I love bridges so much. It's obviously for weird down poles. I'm kidding, of course. It's the fact that we can look over and see these magnificent views as far out as the eye can see, where obviously nothing is obstructing us. We not only get the body of water, all of the boats, like in this case we have Charter's Cafe Bar, which is on a boat. How dope is that? But regardless, I'm saying earlier how we can see out, and all of the other bridges in the far distance, we can see them all. It's really magnificent to be able to just gawk at this beauty, I suppose you go as far to say. And there's even more of what the cafe bar has to offer. And now that we've crossed over the bridge, there it is, the building I've been looking for HM Passport Office. It's hard to miss, I must say. And right there we have some magnificent art for that quaint little Charter's Cafe Bar we saw earlier. Okay, due to the busy main road up the top there, I decided that the safest way across was to head under that bridge, which has some terrible graffiti by the way, but what's not so terrible is this surprisingly aesthetically pleasing scenery, which I suppose is brought about by the matching colour scheme. I love how the colours of the leaf petals match up with the building behind it. It's pretty cool to say the least. Just like that, we're now at the HM Passport Office, so it's time for my appointment without further ado.
Okay, I'm now done with my appointment, so what I'm going to do here is that now I'm at the other side of the building with this awesome scenery. We're going to take a right at the bottom there and head back over the bridge towards a lake, because as was proven by staring at the canal earlier, it seems as though I love huge bodies of water, so we're going to check that out and then double back on ourselves to go back toward the CX and the Peterborough city centre. But I wasn't about to turn right and head back over the bridge before first checking this out in great detail. Man, that is some magnificent work right now. I love the attention to detail. Okay, so now that we're done with the bridge for the second time, what we're going to be doing now instead is heading straight onwards. Let's check out Fledton Lake without further ado, though I'd probably botched that pronunciation, knowing me, but Fledton Lake, here we come all the same. Something is telling me that they really want me to go and watch Aladdin. Such a nice little hotel, but as you can tell, in the windows there is a Christmas tree, which is by far the greatest part of this quaint little hotel, out here in a residential area of all things, because as you can tell, we've definitely hit the main bulk of the residential area here in Peterborough, and only one of these houses around here is feeling particularly festive, it seems. Obviously I was referring to that one with the holly and the reindeers, but that's quite tame when it comes to decorations. I think this tree is showing more festive spirit right now than that house right now. Voting night! The house is tiny, what are you expecting exactly, I hear you thinking. Well my friends, this is what I'm expecting. That is my house at Christmas, so if my house can pull off that, just about any other house can manage it as well. There is no excuse. None. Okay, as you can tell, this is all just pretty much residential and it's stuff we've seen time and time again. So just like I did at Kettering, I'm going to cut to the best part, which is obviously going to be the lake, so I will see you there. Oh my gosh, guys, I officially found the real Springfield. That is right, Springfield. It is right here. And it is underwhelming, apparently. So in case it isn't obvious by the swan as well as the writing saying Fletton Lake, this is indeed the direction towards Fletton Lake, where we've got to continue down this pathway, which is referred to as Knight's Mews, a name I'm obviously particularly fond of because I have a great fondness of knights. It would explain why Igniter is my favourite Skylander, and that right there is your Skylanders reference of the day. You're welcome. It might be just a tiny body of water down there, but I'm sure Zach with his soul jump ability wouldn't be complaining about it, mind you. Okay, so we've finally made it here to Fletton Lake, and as you can tell, it is indeed a huge body of water, but unfortunately it's mostly blocked by all of the plant life on the outskirts, particularly these trees and all that, so this is going to be the best shot you're going to get, but still, this is the peak of what the video has to offer. You might as well just turn it off now. I mean, seriously, it doesn't get any better than this, and I say that with absolute certainty, dare I even say an infinite degree of certainty. But signature phrases aside, I think it's about time I made my way back to the Peterborough city centre, so I will see you all there after I finish doubling back on myself. Oh, this is cool. I completely missed this the first time around, but it's a climbing frame designed specifically like a spider's web, hence the inclusion of the spider design up there. That is awesome. It makes me wish we had a spider-themed Skylander, but I suppose that arachnophobia is too common a phobia for a character for a kids game to be designed based off, so no wonder why there weren't any spiders that were Skylanders at the end of the day. I mean, there were spider enemies, especially in the crawling catacombs, which is where the crawling catacombs gets its name from, but as for Skylanders themselves, unless I'm an idiot, there is no spider-themed Skylanders. And that, my friends, truly is a shame. As you can tell, we're back here. I have successfully double-backed upon myself, and along the way I took a quick little pit stop at this quaint little pub called The Peacock. It was nice and festive inside. You can see the photos on screen now as the proof being in the pudding, if you will. But that being said, as we're headed towards the city centre, that can only mean one thing. It's time for us to be headed towards CEX. Okay, so we're getting that much closer to the city centre, but already the lights have been turned on and it is glorious. Finally, something festive to celebrate. But the real question is, do you think they got enough gaming gear back there? As you can tell from the poll before you, it's once again been raining, but we're going to pull our focus to the pillars back there instead, where they seem to be lit up by some awesome Christmas lights. In fact, you'll notice several Christmas lights here in the city centre, but even with all of these lights combined, you won't get near to the number of lights found on our house alone. The other thing drawing my attention is the Bewitched coffee. Awesome, a nice old-fashioned carousel, you don't get any more British than that. Then there's an ice rink too, for good measure, as well as some spires back there, which are the same spires that we saw earlier in the video, so it's nice to draw that full circle, I suppose. And over there, Here's the cathedral. You can kind of see it popping out from behind the arch, but me and Luke did check it out last time, so that really does nullify our need to check it out again. We're just going to keep heading towards CEX. And post-haste as well, my phone is starting to lose all its battery. I've only got about 10% left. There are plenty of awesome Christmas lights to go around, and luckily for us, they're right opposite for CEX. Without further ado, let's check it out and see what they got. Okay, so immediately what I'm noticing is that instead of a display, as always, they seem to have all of their Skylanders hidden away in tubs, so I'm going to go and see if they don't mind me having a quick rummage through. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here because this is where my phone died, but I was still able to get a quick rummage through the Skylanders, and unfortunately you aren't missing out on much because all they really had were starter pack characters like T-Rex and Snapshot, plus a few loose free rangers. It really wasn't anything to write home about, so on that note, I'm going to conclude the video here as we've explored everything I wanted to for this festive themed vlogging episode, so I'll be seeing you in the next episode of Skylanders Vlogging. But for now, we have an outro to see us through. Until then, I cannot in good conscience end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!